Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and John Deaton was on Charles Payne, and he pulled a power move, okay? I don't know if I've ever used the term power move on this channel, but I do use that term. This is what you call a power move right here. He put the XRP hat. We know he's at Bitcoin Miami, so I'm assuming he put that in his hotel room behind him strategically so that when he was on TV that you'd see the XRP hat. That's pretty awesome. Now, you got to hear the whole thing. John Deaton was kicking a word, as my 9-year-old says, and taking names. Yes, he does say kicking a word. Okay, listen to this.
On the deep penetration that crypto is having around the world. I mean, there's unbridled excitement, and it just seems to be catching fire more and more each day, doesn't it?
It does, Charles. Thank you for having me. I think the excitement and the optimism actually stems from the lack of faith that we have in our government-controlled fiat system. When you think about it, Charles, what is fiat today? It's debt. The U.S. dollar I have in my pocket, there's a promise from the government that it's going to have a certain value. The same government that has printed 80% of all U.S. dollars in the world's existence in the last 2 years. And when you're in a faith-based system, that doesn't generate a lot of faith.
That's
and
true.
I think cryptocurrency is the alternative to that system.
So this week, the SEC chair said that crypto platforms should be registered and regulated like exchanges. Then this morning, I'm not sure if you saw the Janet Yellen testimony in Congress. It was nuts. All these lawmakers getting up and dragging crypto through the mud, associating it with Russia and criminal activities. I mean, it really does feel like they're going to do whatever they can to derail this thing. Can they achieve that?
They could try, but they're ultimately going to fail. Sounds like they're threatened, doesn't it? Gary Gensler has waged a war on crypto. All right. For example, he says that the crypto platforms, the Coinbases and the Krakens of the world, these digital exchanges, that they need to be regulated. They need to register with the SEC. But Charles, the only reason they would register with the SEC is if they were selling securities. When they go to Gary Gensler and say, hey, I've got 70, 80 tokens on my platform. We don't believe they're securities. Which one do you believe are securities? We'll take them off the platform. Gary Gensler's response is, we won't give you advice. You just need to come in and register anyways. That's not a system that works because he wants to allow vagueness. He doesn't want to give guidance because if he gives guidance, companies can comply. He wants to engage in this regulation by enforcement, and it's got to stop. As far as the FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt about criminal and illicit activities, the FBI, the CIA, they've all come out and said they hope that.
Doesn't it just piss you off that we have an SEC. This is an agency that's supposed to protect investors. We have an SEC that is actively trying to stop innovation in the United States of America, actively trying to stop it, not even letting companies know what they can do so that the companies can thrive and flourish. They're intentionally doing this. Where is Congress? Why does Congress not look at some point? You can quit with the pleasantries and playing the part of being a congressman and having a certain decorum. At some point, you got to get pissed off and put this little twerp in front of you and tell him off. At some point, if you're Congress, at some point, do we have anybody that is a gunslinger up there? Do we have anybody who gives a rat's behind about something other than who's paying them to be up there? Do we have anybody left who is going to put this little pencil neck twerp in his place and make him do the right thing by this country and the people who have children that they want to have futures in this country? At what point does one freaking congressman grow them a set and do what's right? When? Are you kidding me? Is our country that far gone? We do have people up there that were in the military, Warren Davidson. We've got people up there who do have guts. Where are you? Why aren't you angry? Why aren't you showing them? Why aren't you in front of a camera letting them know what a farce this is and letting them know how angry you are? Why is it having to come from a freaking YouTuber, for crying out loud? You guys are up there to represent the people. Do it. All right, sorry for the rant.
Gary Gensler's response is, we won't give you advice. You just need to come in and register anyways. That's not a system that works, because he wants to allow vagueness. He doesn't want to give guidance, because if he gives guidance, companies can comply. He wants to engage in this regulation by enforcement, and it's got to stop. As far as the FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt about criminal and illicit activities, the FBI, the CIA, they've all come out and said they hope that criminals use the blockchain. It's a public distributed ledger. You'd have to be a moron to engage your criminal enterprise on Bitcoin or any of these other cryptos.
Now, you represent, from what I read, at least 66,000 holders of Ripple, a decentralized payment platform that allows for secure, instant financial transactions around the world. What is the beef here? Why is the SEC trying to shut this down?
Well, Charles, we did something that's never been done. We actually went into court. We petitioned the court and said, we want to be named as defendants in this case. And the judge, in her opinion, said, in a non-family situation, this has never happened. Who goes in and says, sue us too? Because they effectively did. When the SEC filed this case against Ripple and its two executives in December of 2020, they didn't just go after them. They attacked every single XRP holder because they're going with this absurd claim that all XRP, even XRP traded in the secondary market with no connection to Ripple, that they're all unregistered securities. Charles, they're saying this despite the fact that for 8 years it traded publicly in the United States. They're saying this despite in 2015, the U.S. government, FinCEN, declared XRP a virtual currency. And despite the fact that every foreign government, the UK, Japan, Switzerland, Singapore, United Arab Emirates, every foreign government that's looked at this token has declared it a non-security. Yet our SEC is stating otherwise.
John, I got to tell you, people love you. You've done an amazing job. And I can tell you just from your first appearance here, I can see why. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Charles. I look forward to coming back hopefully one day.
John Deaton kicking a word and taking names. Good job, man. Okay, now I found a video, a clip with Mike Novogratz talking to Anthony Pompliano that I think was overlooked. They were on stage at Bitcoin 2022, and I think you need to hear this because, look, we know a few things on this channel from playing Mike Novogratz's past appearances. We know that somehow, some way, he predicted that Ethereum was that the SEC was going to say it used to be a security, but now it's not. He knew that somehow. Okay, now maybe he just guessed. Okay, but we know, as I recall from the Empower, when they got the list of people who were in communication with the SEC leading up to the Ethereum free pass, Mike Novogratz was on the list. So that means Mike Novogratz is in communication with regulators. So we know he talks to regulators. We know he talks to major companies and CEOs, okay? So he obviously knows things that the rest of us don't know. I don't think he's just talking in this clip right here. I think he knows that. Here's what I think he knows. I think he knows from probably talking to all these people, Wall Street people and regulators and whatnot. I think what he knows is that Bitcoin is going to be allowed to get to, say, gold's market cap. But I think that he knows that they're going to put the screws to it, whether it's by market manipulation or whatever, to keep it from getting too far past that. Listen to this clip.
How high is Bitcoin's price ever going to go? $1 million. It will never go over $1 million? What are you guys clapping about? That's the most bearish person here. Predicting prices is a really complicated thing. So I got myself to $500,000 because that's the market cap of gold, right? But the gold market cap could go up and we're going to replace gold. And so in some ways, and this is going to maybe sound heretical to a Bitcoin, crowd, I go to bed and I pray that the stewards of the U.S. economy don't screw it up. Because I see what happens to societies when the stewards screw it up. I have Russian friends that have gone bankrupt in literally the last 6 weeks that had good livings and they're gone, right? I've had Turkish friends that have seen their entire life savings blown. And so I really do pray that the dollar stays strong and Bitcoin doesn't go to infinity, because Bitcoin going to infinity means the rest of the Western world has really fallen apart and we lose social order. But I think we could get to 500,000 or even 1 million with stability in the West. And so for us to get a lot higher than that, it means stability of the West is gone.
Right. And so my question is this: what do you think Western governments are going to do to Bitcoin before stability is gone? And the answer is, in one way or another, they're going to rein it in, okay? They're not going to let it go beyond a certain point. And that's the fact, Jack. And I don't think he just came up with that while sitting on stage. I think this guy knows. I think he knows a lot. I also think Crypto Whale is very smart. He says, the market is correlated to Bitcoin, a 13-year-old shitcoin which handles only 3 transactions per second, destroys the environment, and has zero utility. The faster Bitcoin dies, the faster crypto space can witness unprecedented growth. Few understand this. Well, the digital asset investor does understand it, Crypto Whale. So I think that's a great point you make. Now, Janet Yellen was talking today. Look what she said. We are aware of the possibility, clearly, that crypto could be used as a tool to evade sanctions, and we're carefully monitoring to make sure that doesn't occur. But I would say we have a good deal of authority in this area, and we are using it and will use it. I'm not going to read the rest of that thread, but the point is, folks, the government, Brad Garlinghouse said it a long time ago, before you let anyone or anything take over, have a currency that competes with the central banks of the world, they will bring in the tanks and the guns. I don't think they'll need tanks and guns in this situation. They'll come up with various ways to destroy it, folks. Taxation would be a way they could destroy it. Controlling the exits is a way they can destroy it. There's a million ways they can destroy it. Anybody who says they can't doesn't know what they're talking about. Imagine that Bitcoin that you're holding. Let's say you got $1 million of Bitcoin and the government decides Bitcoin's a problem, and they say, you know what, we're gonna impose a 99.9% tax on that Bitcoin. Is it going to be worth the appreciation anymore? Is it going to be worth you having it anymore? I don't think so. They could do that. That might be a crazy example, but don't think they can't control your Bitcoin investment. They may not be able to control you holding it or having it on a hard wallet, but they can make it where you don't want to own it, is the problem. All right, excellent on this. CoinDesk, pre-IPO tech equity, they did a whole write-up on how much Ripple private equity that Link2 has been selling. XRP Army drives bumper sales in Ripple stock despite SEC probe. Look at this. Accredited investors are falling over themselves to grab pre-IPO equity in budding cryptocurrency unicorns like BlockFi, Dapper Labs, and Kraken, according to Link2, a firm that buys equity in young tech firms before they hit the public markets. But out of the crypto-heavy basket of unlisted company shares, Ripple Labs, creator of the XRP token, is the stock that Link2 users are buying the most. We don't act like a broker, but rather we put our money up front and buy pre-IPO tech company shares from early founders, investors, and employees that need to liquidate shares for whatever reason. That might be to buy a house or send a kid to college, Nick Burafedo, director of digital asset sales at Link2, said in an interview. We also retain ownership of a percentage of each and every investment we make until the company exits, he said. It's perhaps no surprise there's a strong demand for private equity in crypto companies given events like crypto exchange Coinbase's direct listing last year. All right, and it goes on, but I want to point out another thing in this. Isn't it crazy that Nick Burafedo, that is Mr. B from Twitter, who got his start on Twitter? I mean, this was just a guy, folks, And now he's literally like an executive at Link2. You kids out there, and even you adults out there, let that be a lesson. You don't ever know where you could go. I mean, this guy's literally now working for a Silicon Valley startup. Life can take you in all kinds of interesting directions if you're paying attention. And by the way, Link2 had tweeted this out. Over 40% of insurers plan to increase their private equity investments in the next year to boost returns. And that's a Goldman Sachs survey. Go check out Link2, linqto.com, one of my sponsors. ProCoinNews.com, who is the official sponsor of the Digital Asset Investor Hunting and Fishing Club. We will be doing some fishing soon, by the way. The largemouth bass are just starting to bite around here. Okay, just wait. We've got some big ones. So with Elon Musk buying Twitter, does he integrate Dog, Bitcoin, or XRP soon? X question mark. And then this guy replies SpaceX, Model X, X.com, children's X names, whatever his kid's name was. Nevada Alexander Musk, Xavier Musk, maybe just a coincidence. And then there was this. This was a Blockworks tweet. JP Morgan CEO, blockchain and DeFi are real. And I retweeted it and I said, and this is Jamie Dimon, and we have a monopoly on token issuance and DeFi because we have Gary Gensler going after everyone except for Ethereum and Bitcoin in crypto. And we were working with Joseph Lubin and the Ethereum founders even before the public mainnet launch. That's the state of crypto right there, the truth right there. I just gave it to you. And this is more truth. This is from TAIG. Putin was attracted to Ethereum as a potential tool to help Russia diversify its economy beyond oil and gas. And I said, not one person in Congress has called for an investigation of the Ethereum disguised whales, who they were in the ICO. Not one. Not one, folks. Let me remind you, tax season is upon us. You can book a private consultation about your crypto tax situation with Clinton Donnelly, who's from CryptoTaxAudit.com. He is a crypto tax expert. He'll do a 25-minute private consultation for $295. There's a link to this in the top of the description of this video. Check it out if you need some help with your crypto taxes. I'm the digital asset investor, and my phone's ringing. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family to go check out CryptoTaxAudit.com.